Nigeria's Purchasing Managers Index rises for the 13th consecutive month, says the Central Bank of Nigeria. Customs releases guidelines for implementation of zero duty on food imports, while oil prices rise on hopes of U.S. rate cuts boosting fuel demand. Asia-Pacific markets mostly climb as Japan's GDP growth beats expectations. China reports mixed economic data. The program is Business Express, reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. I am Benny Adams, your guide. It's that time we take you through happenings in the world of business, starting from the boardrooms to the market square. I will start by telling you that Nigeria's Purchasing Managers Index, the PMI, a gauge for the direction of economic activities in Nigeria, stood at 49.7 points, indicating a contraction in economic activities for the 13th consecutive month. This was disclosed by the Central Bank of Nigeria in its July PMI survey report released on Wednesday. However, it said the index shows improvement compared to the 48.8 points recorded in the previous month. According to the report, output levels, supplies, delivery time, and stock of inventory expanded. New orders and employment contracted at a slower rate compared to the levels recorded in the previous month. Now, the Senate Committee on Public Accounts says it would not be frustrated by persistent evasion disposition of chief accounting officers of some ministries, departments, and agencies of government to honor its invitations, as such agencies would soon bear the consequences. This is with regards to non-appearance of the affected MDAs to respond to queries raised against them as contained in the Auditor General report briefing. And briefing journalists on the development, the Senate Public Accounts Committee says the attitude of the agencies is contrary to the commitment of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to ensure transparency and accountability in the running of business of government.
Office of the Accountant General of the Federation. 2. Nigerian Mining Cadastral Office. 3. Federal Inland Revenue Service. 4. Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, former DPR. 5. Nigeria Police Force. 6. Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment. 7. FCT Internal Revenue Service. 8. Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited. 10. Nigeria Immigration Service. 11. Federal Ministry of Women Affairs. 12. Ministry of Defense. 13. Nigeria Communications Satellite Limited, and others.
The committee resolved to consider the adoption of the position of the Auditor General as reflected in the audit queries. The African Development Bank, AFDB, says it has approved 92.3 million euros in funding for Tunisia to support business competitiveness and job creation. The finances consist of a 90 million euro loan from the bank group and a grant of 2.3 million euros from the Women Entrepreneurs Finance Initiative, WIFI, Trust Fund under the Affirmative Finance Action for Women in Africa initiative. The initiative is intended to enhance employment opportunities for young people, improve living conditions, and strengthen the economy. According to the bank, the Tunisian government expects its funding to help create more than 118,000 jobs. Tunisia is also currently facing economic challenges which have reduced public sector job opportunities due to a public finance crisis and rising unemployment, particularly among young people and university graduates. The latest data indicates that overall unemployment stands at 16.1%, with rate rising to 39.2% among those aged between 15 to 24. Additionally, 23.4% of university graduates are unemployed. How much is the Naira exchanging for other currencies? Let's take a look. Now, Asia-Pacific markets mostly climb as Japan's GDP growth beats expectations. China reports mixed economic data. Moplang, how is the market looking like this morning?
Thank you, Benny. It's a promising day for the markets this Thursday morning. European stocks opened higher as investors digest cooler than expected inflation readings in the US and UK. Britain's FTSE increased by 0.56% at 8,281.05, while Germany's DAX and CAC 40 of France are still unchanged this morning. Asian markets largely rose after Japan's GDP growth beat expectations, while traders also digested China retail sales and urban unemployment data for July. Japan's Nikkei 225 increased by 0.78% to close at 36,726.64 basis points. China's Shanghai Composite also advanced 0.66%, while the Hang Seng Index of Hong Kong depreciated by 0.32%. U.S. stock futures climbed slightly higher in early trade today as investors gained confidence in signs of easing inflation. Futures tied to the Dow Jones Industrial Average advanced by 0.61%. The S&P 500 also up by 0.38%, and the Nasdaq Composite also increased by 0.03%. In Africa, South Africa's JSE Africa Top 40 increased by 0.63%. The Namibia Overall Index also appreciated this Thursday morning, while Kenya, Tunisia, and Ghana are yet to post numbers as the markets have just opened. This is it on the global scene. It's back to you, Benny.
Thank you very much, Muplang. Unlike the Nigerian stock exchange, I see stocks around Africa are actually improving. This is where we end this edition of Business Express. We value your feedback, so keep the comments, observations, and suggestions coming. Be informed that all previous episodes are available on YouTube on NTA's channel. Business Express returns on a Friday by 3 p.m. Do keep a date with us as you keep thinking and doing business.